the County Commission. Linda Bond, we'll start with you for the first question. In theory, the county can help towns work together to solve problems efficiently. What are your priorities in this regard? And do you favor new sources of funding to accomplish them?
Yes, I do want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. This is a great forum and a great chance to meet everybody. And yes, I do believe that all the towns, because we oversee all the different programs that help each town here in the Cape, and we do need to come together with all the towns and come up with some new ideas. And I would like to do Jack Units, our new county administrators, getting together with all the different selectmen in each town and kind of going over everybody's concerns so that we can get together as a county and each town and really do the best. And that's kind of the path that I'm going to follow, is working with everybody. I'm a real people person, being in the restaurant business and everything I've done. With my background, I really feel I'd be able to be an asset to the county.
Thank you. Mary Patlin.
Yes, thank you, Mindy. And I want to thank the League of Women Voters for having us here tonight. I think this is really important, and I always enjoyed coming here and having this opportunity. First, I wanted to tell you that I had a dentist appointment at 4 o'clock today, and unfortunately had Novocaine, not really thinking that I might not be able to talk tonight. But I'm here and I can, but if you see that some of my words may not be too clear, that's the only reason. So I think when county government, of course, was formed way back in the late 1600s, and some of the towns obviously were not incorporated until much time after that. But one of the real objectives of county government is to support the towns, either financially or through county staff, to help them achieve their goals, particularly when their goals are regional, and many of them are. It's, me, I'm done. Thank you.
15 seconds, Mark.
That's okay.
Yeah. My turn. Can you hear me okay? Yes. I too would like to join with the other candidates in thanking the League, Falmouth Community Television, and you, Mindy, for helping put this together. I want to say hello to the folks at home that are watching, and I want to thank everybody here in the audience tonight for being here. In terms of my priorities, my priority will be initially to make sure that we continue to make progress in getting our financial house in order. My background as a town manager, it's work that I've done before. I balance budgets, I've done financial planning, and I've helped towns get out of financial problems and done it without raising taxes. In terms of other priorities, I think we have to spend more time focusing on some of the big issues affecting the Cape. That involves water quality, the opiate addiction problem that we're facing here is very serious, and jobs and economic development, and finding ways to do that are sustainable over the long haul. Those are essentially my priorities, and I think I have the qualifications and experience to make it happen.
Thank you. Mary Pat, let me start with you this time. What do you regard as the most valuable services currently delivered by the Barnstable County government to the residents of Cape Cod?
I think that what we do best is through our agency, the Cape Cod Commission, which is a planning and a regulatory agency, but they do spend a lot of time in planning and helping towns plan for big projects. I think that's really an important part of county government. The other part of county government is the fact that we have our house in order now, and we're really in a position to help towns work together to regionalize services, because we think that that can be done, and it's going to save towns money, and it's going to have a lot more benefits for the people in the towns to know that these activities are being accomplished, but they're being accomplished in a way that's beneficial to them as well.
Of course.
In terms of the county services that are important, there's a lot that the county does that's incredibly important. I would certainly suggest that the Cape Cod Commission plays a very valuable role in terms of making sure that growth and development is done in a way that helps protect our environment. But I'd also would add the county health department. I'm very impressed with the work that goes on in the county lab. They do an enormously productive and helpful job in helping us understand our water quality problems, the water testing that they do. The lab itself is a nationally renowned facility and has some of the best people in the country working for the people here on Cape Cod. So their work in terms of protecting public health is vital. Cooperative Extension does a lot of work in terms of Lyme disease. That's an important issue here on the Cape and elsewhere. And I could go on, but I think at the top of the list would be clearly the County Health Department, the Cape Cod Commission, and certainly a lot of the work that goes on in Cooperative Extension dealing with Lyme disease.
Devon?
Yes, I agree with Mr. Forrest on all those things. And the county really oversees a lot of really valuable programs here for everybody in the Cape. And my really biggest concern as a county commissioner will be to balance the budget. Because if the budget doesn't get balanced and we have to continue to raise taxes or spend any of our savings, I don't agree with that. I really feel that we really have to do better budgeting. If we don't budget our initial money that we get, then these programs are not going to be able to be sustainable. So that's where I really feel strongly, is to make sure that the money is working and that these programs will stay here in the Cape.
This time, Mark Forrest, we start with you. What would you recommend to make Barnstable County residents more aware of county programs and services?
I think I'm going to need more than a minute. But let me start. I think, quite frankly, we should look at a whole range of ideas. I'd like to see dramatic improvements in the website. I would like to see dramatic improvements in terms of how we put out information. I think we could do a better job in allowing people to sign up for email alerts and other advisories so they can keep up to date on some of the great work that goes on in county government. I'd like to see us at least consider moving our meetings around a little bit. I'd like to focus on some of the big issues. For example, I'd like to see the county commissioners get a little bit more engaged in hosting meetings dealing with the opiate addiction problem and what we can do to improve access to treatment here on Cape Cod. I'd like to see us have more forums on issues like the condition of the bridges, the Bourne and Sagamore bridges, and learn more from Mass DOT and our legislators on how we're going to address that problem. I'd like to see us have more discussion. Oh, see, I told you, I don't have enough time.
Thank you, Linda Vaughn.
Yeah, that's a great question, because as I've been campaigning, that's what I've been doing. I've really been educating everybody on what the county government is and how valuable it is here to the Cape. Because in Massachusetts, most of the county government has gone away. And I always get that question, well, why do we even need county government anymore? And the answer is very clear, because we are very unique down here in our great peninsula that we live on. And we have a lot of different unique issues other than Western Mass or other parts of Massachusetts. So I have been educating, as far as our during the meetings, I would like to see more transparency. I'd like to see us use more, get our website going, more emails. We really are going into the technology field, and so that's the path we should go down to make us more transparent.
Thank you, Mary Pat Glenn.
Well, that's just going to be tough to follow those two, because they really have, I think, spoken very well in terms of what the county already does and how it can help and affect the residents of Cape Cod. And really, that is the whole purpose of the county, is to how do we make services more readily available to the people, not really the towns. Our job is to work with the towns to make their job a little bit easier, and actually, in the end, to save money. So we have created some groups now that are already bringing people together, because that's the whole idea, is you need to bring the people together from the various towns in order to really incite enthusiasm in working as a group and working to resolve these issues really at the local level. And I'm looking forward to that. We have a great county administrator now. He had been the mayor of Rockland for 10 years. So he brings a lot of experience from city government, but he also understands revenues, and he understands expenses, and he understands how important it is to have everybody working together.
Thank you. Linda Vaughn, we start with you this time. Which current county agencies could be eliminated or restructured, and why?
I don't feel that really any of them need restructuring again. I'm going to get back to the balancing of the budget. I really feel that all the programs here are necessary. I feel that as everybody's been putting forth their budgets, they've not been vetted very well over the last few years, and that's why I believe we're in the financial position that we're in. I really feel that we need to take a different look on everybody's budget and have them kind of start maybe from the zero base budgeting and work every line item down and make sure that everybody's budget is where it should be. And I don't want to see I don't want anything overspending and overtaxing. So my goal is to really look at the budgets that I'll be overseeing and seeing where cuts can be made.
Thank you, Mary Beth.
Well, interestingly enough, and happily enough, the county closed its fiscal budget ending June 30th of this year with $1 million in excess revenue. And you know, the county doesn't really have a sustainable source of revenue. We rely very much on the deeds excise tax. And that depends upon how many homes are sold on the Cape. And if there are a lot of homes sold, then our revenues increase. If there's a downturn in selling homes, then our revenues go down. But right now, I think we're in a very good position from the revenue perspective. And I think going forward, working with the county administrator, where we have a budget that's coming in less than last year, and we think that working with the towns and putting these services together that will cost not only the county less money, but the towns less money, will be in everyone's best interest.
Mark Forrest.
Yeah, I'm very much interested in taking a sort of a top to bottom look at each of the county agencies and departments. I'm not prepared yet to say what exactly I would change, but I would really like to take a look at everything from top to bottom. We also have a number of committees. We need to take a look at them and how they're structured and how they're working and whether or not we need to eliminate some of them or maybe revitalize some of them. I would like to revitalize the county's economic development program. Jobs are a huge priority here, and I think we can do a much better job there, quite frankly. We have to take a look at how we're spending the money there. There hasn't been much progress in the development of Open Cape. This is the broadband for Cape Cod. I'd like to investigate that and look at how we can sort of move that project along and make some real progress there because it's important for a variety of reasons, including economic development. The area of clean water is another area that I think we've got to look at and see if we can find better ways to get the various departments working together and collaborating together on how we can help towns deal with their water quality problems.
That happens to be the next question, water quality. Mary Pat Flynn, we start with you this time. Do you support working as a region to address wastewater management and water quality issues?
That has been the main focus of our efforts over the last couple of years. You may know that the commission, the Cape Cod Commission, created a 208 plan. And over the last 2 years, they've been engaging the towns in the development of that plan. Because each town on its own, if it were up to them to solve the problems, it would cost each town an enormous amount of money. So what the commission has proposed is that we look at the estuaries and the watersheds and where they are shared by towns, that those towns work together in developing plans to reduce the nitrogen and the stormwater issues in the estuary or in a particular waterway. And that has begun. Some of the towns are already working on that, particularly on the lower Cape. We haven't done that so much on the upper Cape, because in Falmouth, we really share watershed with Mashpee.
Thank you, Mark Forrest.
With respect to clean water, I think obviously there's an enormous amount of energy and effort being spent in terms of nitrogen pollution and nutrients that are adversely impacting our estuaries and bayments. But I think, quite frankly, if we really want to get serious about tackling our clean water problems, we're going to have to go much broader than that and much beyond nitrogen. Throughout my career as a former town manager and also my work with Congressman Studs and Congressman Delahunt, much of my work has been spent dealing with groundwater contamination impacting water supplies. And as many people here in this room know, that we've had a great deal of work to focus on with respect to Otis, the military base, and the significant groundwater contamination impacting our towns there. But the problems haven't all been solved. We've learned from the contamination dealing with the fire training academy that some of our communities have a water supply situation that's somewhat precarious. And so I think we need to work with Barnstable and some of the other Cape towns that find themselves in need of developing new and better water supplies. So I think the whole broad question of our ponds, our water supply, in addition to nutrients, needs to be looked at.
Thank you, Linda Bond.
Yeah, I do believe the county's moving in the right direction on this problem, and it is a big problem. And I really feel that Jack Units is doing a great job, again, getting together with all the different towns and speaking with everybody. Along my campaigning, I've met many people that have had really good innovative ideas on our problems. A lot of citizens that are right in the towns. And I feel that we need to really talk to these people and talk to a lot of people that have some great ideas, because there are some new innovative ideas that we could work with. So I am all for open ideas and working with people and getting to know more problem solving with each town. So that would be my plan, is to get together as a coalition with the towns and work with them.
Mark, of course, we start with you this time. Can you give us an example of how you've been able to work collaboratively?
Collaboratively. Well, I think one area of significant collaboration has been my work in helping facilitate a game plan on how to deal with the pollution at the Massachusetts Military Reservation. My role working for Congressman Studs was to help make sure that we can get the Cape Towns, the state and federal government, regulators, activists, a whole constituency of people that really couldn't agree on much of anything, to figure out a way to come together and come up with one game plan for dealing with the initial phase of cleaning up the pollution. We had meetings in the beginning when we had to explain to people that our problem here on Cape Cod is we're divided. And if we want to have a chance at cleaning up this massive pollution at the military base, we need to speak to the federal government with one voice. So we all had to come together, we had to sit down, roll up our sleeves, and come up with one plan. It took months, but we did it. And I was the staffer that briefed the Pentagon and others in Washington on what this plan consisted of, and we were able to convince them that this was the plan to do it, and we got the money.
Thank you, Linda.
Collaborative, that's exactly the right word, that we really need to work together. And my experience is 30 years in the restaurant business, and anybody that's run a business, and especially the restaurant business, you know how hard it is to make it all work well. When you're overseeing your food and your liquor sales and ordering and receiving, and I had over 100 employees underneath me where I scheduled, and I did hire, and yes, I did fire people along the way. So it's all about working with people and getting people to do what you're needing them to do. And that's where I feel as a county commissioner, and we're working with all the different towns, the different selectmen, the different assembly of delegates. You really need to be well collaborated. And that's where I feel my experience in running businesses and working with a lot of people would be quite valuable to the county commission.
I think to be in public service, you have to be a collaborator. Working as a selectman and working as a county commissioner, all of that was collaborative. I mean, when you have 5 members of a board of selectmen, you really must work together if you want to get anything accomplished. And I think the 18 years that I was a selectman here in Falmouth, I think I was always able to work collaboratively with the board. I may not always have agreed with them on every issue, but I don't think we ever had the type of disagreements that caused people in the public to be concerned. And I would say the same about being a county commissioner. It's really important to work collaboratively, not only together with the 3 commissioners, but with the Assembly of Delegates, because they're our legislative branch. And it's really incumbent upon us to give them the information they need to make the right decisions in terms of any type of legislative act that they may be involved with. So I think collaboration is the most important effort that any person in public service can be accomplished in.
Linda Bond, we'll start with you this time. As pollution from leakage from landfills, the fire training academy, the base, who should be responsible for paying for the cleanups?
Well, it's too bad that it's had to go into the litigation that it's had to go into, because it's costing money for the lawyers, and it's sad that it had to come to this point. My question really is why did it take this so long to deal with this problem at the Firefighter Academy? It's been well known to the county commissioners that there's been this problem for a long, long time. I just think it's taken too long to do to be active on it. Now it's come to the point that there's a lawsuit. I feel the county's moving in the right direction. Again, our new county administrator, Jack Units, is doing a great job. He's really working with the EPA and finding out if there's other contaminants that could have been in the wells. So they are moving in the right direction. I know the funding is going to be the issue, who takes the bulk of the cost of this. So I think at this point in time, I'm not able to say exactly where the cost is going to go, but I believe we are moving in the right direction.
When you have issues related to cleanup, like we have with the Fire Training Academy, it can always be a difficult effort. But we are working with the town of Barnstable on that, and we have attorneys obviously working with us. And we know who's responsible. The county, by the way, in terms of that, it really wasn't the county that was responsible for putting those contaminants into the groundwater. It was really all the fire training individuals who came from the various towns that used the equipment. And that's not an excuse, and we're not using that as an excuse, but we're using it as a way to bring together our staff and the group from the town of Barnstable to try to come to some resolution about how we can do this. And the county is responsible in terms of dollars and cents. And we have to come up with an agreed upon amount of money that is our responsibility to make that place whole again. And that is our goal, and we will accomplish it.
With respect to the fire training area, I would agree. I think the county should step up, is stepping up, and that's where the critical responsibility lies. But I'd also be interested in exploring what lawsuits are going on in other jurisdictions. We're not the only area that's had this problem. The company 3M, which manufactures the contaminant, or at one time did manufacture the contaminant, is being sued in a number of other jurisdictions. There are other companies that are being held liable, at least in lawsuits. I think we need to really take a hard look on the litigation side to see whether or not the county may have standing in some of these other particular suits, and at least get compensated for some of the funds that may have to be laid out to address this. This is a problem that we see, as I said, all around the country. It's we're seeing this type of contaminant downgrading of airports, military bases. In fact, we're dealing with this issue right here in Falmouth. I mean, there's been some concern about PFC contamination in some of the wells surrounding this community. So we need to maybe learn either from what the military is doing.
Thank you. Candidates for Barnstable County Commissioner is Linda Bont, Mayor Pat Flynn, Mark Forrest. Thank you all for being here. And,
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.